Welcome to your Daily Detroit for Monday, February 24th, 2020. I'm Jer Stays.
And I'm Cheyenne Oserini. On today's show, Jer goes to Rosa Parks and Atkinson to check out a soon-to-be open coffee shop and cocktail bar in an old church called The Congregation.
And of course, we'll catch you up on some stories to know around town. But first, a big thank you to our members who make this show possible. Thanks to new members Aaron, Tom, and Matthew. Big weekend. Also, thanks to Mike, who upped his support for the show as well. You know, we've got a bunch of members upping their support. It's pretty great, isn't it, Shai?
It really is. Your support really does matter. And trust me, it makes a huge difference. You can join those awesome people at patreon.com/dailydetroit. That's patreon.com/dailydetroit.
Now that we've paid some bills, let's just get right into it. A new study shows sexually transmitted diseases, or STDs, are on the rise among senior citizens both nationally and here in Michigan. The SeniorList.com compiled data from the Centers for Disease Control, and although Michigan fares better than many other states, the rate of STDs spreading among those 55 years old and up is much higher than other age groups. In Michigan, there has been an 87% increase in STDs among senior citizens over the last 5 years. The state ranks 38th with about 46 infections per 100,000 people. However, don't let that low ranking fool you. In Michigan, among older adults, there has been a nearly 86% increase in HIV, more than double the cases of chlamydia, 89% increase in gonorrhea, and a 20% increase in syphilis. In general, experts say that people of older age do not take the same precautions as younger folks, mostly due to a lack of sex education when younger and less concern about STDs in general. The top 4 older adult STD states or territories are Washington, D.C., New York, Maryland, and Florida.
As my dad told me when I was in high school, he got the clap 3 times, so be careful out there.
Sage advice, Cheyenne. Very sage. Who knew it would be for people your dad's age?
I know, right? The Michigan Secretary of State has been plagued by complaints of long waits and the need to make appointments to get service. To help solve this, the department has opened self-service centers in 28 Meijer stores across the state, including in Detroit, Madison Heights, Auburn Hills, Roseville, and Southfield. The Secretary of State's office says that you can renew your tabs for eligible cars and trucks, motorcycles, and watercraft. You'll need the plate number and the last 4 digits of your vehicle identification number. There's a service fee of $3.95 per renewal. The good news is that you can pay with cash or with most major credit cards. The office says that more services will be added after a computer system upgrade in March of next year.
7 Southwest Detroit improvement projects totaling more than $145,000 were announced today by the Southwest Detroit Business Association. The funding comes from J.P. Morgan Chase and public sources, and it'll pay for new signage, awnings, facades, masonry, and artwork. We're told 3 new projects are currently underway and that the nonprofit SDBA is accepting applications for their next program. Some of the projects include Zoshi's Gift Shop on Bagley, DMEX Printing Services on Verner, Guadalajara Taqueria and Meat Market on Lawndale, Pizzaplex on West Verner, and Plaza del Norte, also on Bagley. We'll have photos of these projects up on dailydetroit.com, as well as a link to how to apply if your business or organization is in their service area. Over the last decade, the SDBA has spent $670,000 on the program and has funded 36 projects.
Southwest Detroit is such a cool area of town, and I really love going down there and getting some real tacos.
Taqueria El Rey all day.
All day. $100 million of $300 million has come together for the University of Michigan Detroit Center of Innovation. If you remember, we spent an entire episode on it a while back. It's going where the site of the former Wayne County Fail Jail was at I-375 in Gratiot. Who is the first one to chip in? Well, that's billionaire owner of the Miami Dolphins and U of M benefactor Stephen Ross. The first phase of the 14-acre project is expected to break ground sometime in 2021. Right now, the plans call for a 190,000 square foot academic building, housing, a hotel, and conference center. The new Wayne County Jail is being built up at I-75 in Warren on the site of a former bus terminal.
Office drones at the GM RenCen can now rejoice as they have a new place for lunch. Engineer Randy confirms that the local chain Beyond Juicery Plus Eatery is now open in the food court in the lower level. He threw up a couple of pictures on our Daily Detroit Instagram for you to check out. They serve smoothies, salads, juices, and what they call detox cleanses. It'll be open from 7 in the morning to 7 at night, Monday through Friday, and 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday and Sunday for your weekend working warriors.
Whole grain pancakes and an egg white omelet, please.
What would you like in your omelet?
Nothing in the omelet, nothing at all.
Well, that's not technically an omelet.
Well, I don't want to get into a semantic argument over it. I just want the protein, all right?
Actor John Cusack is coming to town for the upcoming Freep Film Festival on Friday, April 24th.
So many Fs.
So many Fs. He's here for a screening of a movie he starred in, Grosse Pointe Blank. The event will be at the Masonic Cathedral Theater, and there will be an audience Q&A after the film is shown. It's a film near and dear to my heart as it was about an assassin who's on a job in his hometown of Grosse Pointe, and I was living there in 1997 when it came out. However, I note at the time that the school and some of the area businesses didn't like the idea of the movie, and I personally think it would have been so much better if more of it were shot in the actual community.
Though there was a good one scene, right?
Oh yeah, the opening scene of him driving down Lakeshore is one of my all-time favorites.
I wonder how similar it would look today. I bet it would look pretty similar.
I think so. I mean, there are some of the bigger houses that are no longer there, but I used to watch that scene when I was feeling really homesick and I lived far away from town.
Oh, yeah, when you were in Vegas?
Yes.
Yeah. So when are tickets going on for this thing?
So tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. and will set you back between $40 and $70. The Freep Film Festival is actually a really cool event, and it runs from April 22nd through the 26th, and will have more than 70 events. Passes for the festival start at $175.
This next place that I'm going to tell you about will not cost you $170 to visit unless you have a major caffeine addiction. It's a coffee shop and cocktail bar opening March 5th, and I talked with
Betsy Murdoch, and I am the co-owner at the congregation.
It's in an old church at Rosa Parks and Atkinson near Detroit's Boston Edison neighborhood. Let me paint a picture for you. We are in an old church near Rosa Parks and Claremont in the city of Detroit. And I mean, we're going to share pictures on dailydetroit.com, but it is absolutely gorgeous. And I wanted to talk to Betsy here about really the story and the process of putting this place together. It's called The Congregation. Betsy, first off, welcome to Daily Detroit.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
How did you guys find this place?
So myself and my business partners all live in Boston Edison, and we came up with the idea of something that we all needed in this neighborhood, and food and beverage was the number one thing. And then miraculously, the church became available. So we were like, what better than starting a business in our community within an old church?
We talked a little bit before we started recording. It was quite the process to put this together. You were saying that it took a lot more in planning and development than it did in actual construction. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So the building we've acquired, we had it for about 3.5 years now. Most of that process was going through rezoning and some property tax items. And then construction didn't even kick off officially until the end of summer of 2019. So the construction portion is actually the shortest stint of the whole process. And now we're here and almost ready to open our doors.
So what was kind of like the theory of putting all of this stuff together? Because I see a mix match of things that are homages to the church, right? I see pews. I see kind of like some well taken care of, but kind of upcycled furniture, things like that. Was there kind of an aesthetic that you were thinking of when you were putting this together?
Our first and foremost thing is that we really want to be a community space. So somewhere that our neighbors can come and feel comfortable, whether it's their first time or their 100th time coming in the space. And also our theory is an extension of your living room. You can come here and just hang out. You can pop open your computer at a table, or you can sit on a couch and read a book. Really having that versatility for any which purpose that you might have.
And so when they come here to check this out, what are they going to be able to enjoy? Because I understand there's coffee, but there's booze too, right?
Sure is. So we have a full coffee menu, so with all your fancy espresso drinks, as well as a full bar. So we will have beer, wine, and cocktails, a great variety, and ever-changing as well. And then we'll have a simple food program, so sandwiches, salads, soups, and things of that nature, but also a lot of local fresh pastries and baked goods from right within our community.
So how did you get involved in kind of the hospitality and all of that? Because it really seems like you're the person who's kind of putting the nuts and bolts together of this program?
So for the last 5 years, I've been working with Great Lakes Coffee on the wholesale portion of their business, starting other businesses and helping them with equipment selection, layout, menu creation, costing, training, all of that. But my family and my background has always been in food and beverage, so it's something that I always knew that I'd probably stay within. So it was exciting when we came up with this idea. I knew that I really wanted to be heavily involved in the day-to-day and just making sure that it was a success for us and for our community.
What are you most excited about with opening this space? Because, I mean, we've got this beautiful main, like, I guess it used to be the sanctuary is what you'd call it. And then you've got this amazing deck with like kind of bleacher seating and all kinds of stuff. What is kind of your overall vision around this property?
Probably the most exciting part of everything that we were doing is figuring out the programming that's happening in the space. Every day is going to be a different day. So, of course, we'll always have our coffee, we'll always have our drinks and our food program, but really bringing in the community element. So local artists rotating on the walls, local musicians. We have tons of really cool ideas for the outside when the weather is permitting. So from craft fairs and beer garden style events, and then also just people being able to come and enjoy the deck. We have beautiful Gordon Park across the street, so parents can come and watch their kids play while they're sitting having a glass of wine outside. So there's a lot of opportunity here, and we really want to welcome anyone and everyone, whether you're a group of 5 or a group of 25, you can come and enjoy the space.
And then downstairs, you've got stuff going on too. That's pretty exciting.
Yes. So our lower level, we're kind of reserving that for anyone who has larger groups, especially community-oriented events. So we've talked to a lot of fitness instructors about doing regular fitness activities like Zumba and yoga, as well as just different workshops. So from resume writing to grief counseling and things like of that nature. But also a great place for private events. So birthday parties, bridal showers, you name it. You can really use that space for anything.
Well, and obviously you live closer being in Boston Edison, but I mean, the studio is just down Claremont, so this is very much within biking distance. How important is it to have walkable, bikeable places to go to? Because that's one of the things I found, moving to this part of town is that you were just a little bit too far away from different like hot spots. And I feel like this might have the chance to serve like a really big need.
Sure. So actually one of the biggest drawbacks when we were looking to buy our home in the neighborhood was the fact that there wasn't anything for us to walk to. Luckily, I fell in love with our house. So we ended up buying, and then we came up with this idea, and no one else was doing it. So we're like, let's create this space. We've had nothing but positive feedback from our immediate neighbors. Boston Edison Association's been extremely supportive. We've really engaged a lot of people on Atkinson since we are part of their historic district, and then really trying to reach out to everybody and anybody in the North End and Virginia Park and LaSalle Gardens.
When are we looking at possibly opening? I know there's kind of one more hurdle to jump, right?
Yes, so we're waiting on one last thing, and it's just a waiting game, so which we should have any day now. Our official grand opening is slotted for March 5th, so we'll have a lot of really cool things going on here, more so than what we would normally have on a given day, but we'll have a ribbon cutting, and we actually have a really cool final piece going on to our large window on the front, so it's kind of a bigger reveal for that. But we're hoping to have maybe a soft open a little bit before that, so you kind of have to be in the know to get some insiders information of when we're actually going to be open, but we hope to be open within the next week or so.
And when you are open, what are the days, hours? When are you shifting to the cocktail program, all that kind of stuff?
So when we are fully open and functioning, we will be open 7 days a week. Monday through Thursday, we're looking at 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Friday and Saturday will be about 7 to 10. And then Sundays, we're looking at 9 to 6.
Well, thank you so much for opening your doors. And everyone, make sure to check out the pictures up on dailydetroit.com. And good luck.
Thank you so much.
And we're done for today. Thanks so much for listening to Your Daily Detroit.
We very much appreciate it. As always, if you have story ideas, tips, or feedback, hit us up at dailydetroit@gmail.com.
With that, I'm Cheyenne Nocerini.
And I'm Jer Stays. Take care of each other, and let's make a better Detroit together. Some of the projects include Zoshi's Gift Shop? A GIF shop. This is a shop where you can buy GIFs or gifts. What is it? Is it GIFs or gifts?
It's always up for interpretation.